Useless. I'm just completely useless. I'll never solve another case again.
Don't you wish Miss Marple was a freak like me?
Okay, just be cool. Be normal, be good. Just from one detective to another. Inspector to inspector. Slagatha Christie. Oh my God, big fan. I come to you in a time of great urgency and need. And urgency. I am actually a huge fan though. Could you sign something for me afterwards? I have watched your career with great interest for many years now. And I hate to say it, but I need your help. It has occurred to me that we both have the same arch nemesis, Dame Agatha Christie. For too long, she has hounded my step, dogged my heels, haunted my dreams. We must bring her down together, once and for all. Pummel her into the ground, that nasty, scheming piece of... Apologies. You must know that for many years now, she has laid tricks and traps for us at every bend in the road, and I'm sorry. I just can't do it anymore. I beseech you, on my hands and knees, I will give you my mustache if you ask it from me. But please, let us be partners. Hear my prayer and help me, Saint Slagatha. You are my only hope. If you find this offer amenable, I will get my secretaries to get into contact with your secretaries, and together we will make the journey to End House. Now, how do I turn this off? Detective iron deficiency over and...
Well, hello, Inspector Iron Deficiency. It is I, Slagatha Christie, the first of her name, the solver of the crimes, the drinker of the wines, and the expert of the 69s. I received your urgent summons to offer my assistance on a case most perilous, a case written by none other than a cheating, lousy scoundrel by the name of Dame Agatha Christie. I share your sentiments. I really do. Dame Agatha Christie has tried to trick and bamboozle me from the very first day she laid eyes on me. She has reduced me to tears on multiple occasions, yes she has. But you know what I've always said? Bitch. Inspector Iron, it is my promise to you that Miss Christie will not get us during Pride Month. No, she won't. I would be honoured to solve this case with you. Because you know what they say, hot girls read. Or should I say, hot sleuths solve. When you hear the secret signal, caw caw, it means I have arrived at End House. I will meet you there and we will be putting someone behind bars. That is my promise to you. We've got this. Slagatha over and out.
Okay, mes amis, welcome to Peril at End House. I've got my bowl of spinach right here, and no one, not even my ferritin levels, are gonna get me down. I am beyond excited to be working with one of the greats in the business. I hope that my losing streak can be remedied with the presence of one of the greatest detectives of all time, because together we are going to be trying to take on Peril at End House, which apparently is a cult classic, and today we are gonna catch a killer. Unfortunately, we have already had our first victim of the case, which was my beautiful little tiny coffee table. But fear not, I have already caught the killer. And it was my big fat ass. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it. I have the biggest red welting bruise on my butt. I'm standing up because I now cannot sit down. Also, you may have noticed some new improvements in the studio. Okay, my own mustache just tried to suffocate me. I have been peer pressured into buying this big whiteboard. The whiteboard which is taller than me. I have tried to draw our lovely End House, which is this beautiful crumbling mansion that is on a cliff into the water. Because for this case, Slagatha and I will be following Hercule Poirot to the Cornish coast, which I think calls for a change in attire because Detective Iron Deficiency is quickly becoming Detective Heatstroke, so I'm gonna go change into something a little bit more appropriate. Much better. Tell me right now this is not something Hercule Poirot would wear. As I said, please go make your little martini with the little floaty umbrella thing, because we have a case to solve. And page 1 of this book opens at a hotel. Oh. First, let me introduce you to the house in this case, because I think this is probably going to be a character all on its own. It's a beautiful, old, crumbling manor, like I said, and as my piss poor drawing is trying to let you know, it's situated on a beautiful, rocky outcropping, has a gorgeous view of the Cornish Sea. However, it's also right next to one of the most expensive hotels in England called the St. Lou. Our friends Poirot and his admirable companion Hastings are actually staying at the hotel across the way when the book begins. Poirot, of course, has announced his retirement, probably for like the 40th time. That is until a young girl runs up the hotel garden and Poirot runs down to meet her, and it turns out that this young woman was just shot at. This young woman, is Miss Nick Buckley. This is the leg of our first victim, but he's not using it anymore, so I'm gonna, take advantage of it for him. Nick Buckley is the only person currently living in N House. She's very young. She's the last surviving member of her family. Her father died like 6 years ago. Her brother died 3 years ago. She was actually raised by her grandfather, and he's also bitten the bullet. And she is the lovely young lady who was just shot at in the gardens of the hotel. She doesn't even realize that she's just been shot at. She thinks that like a wasp has just whizzed past her face. It's actually a bullet. She goes to join her friends for lunch. She leaves behind her hat with Poirot. She forgets it there. Poirot examines the hat and he's like, there is something wrong with this hat. It has a hole in it. Lo and behold, Poirot goes, investigates, and he finds the bullet on the ground. We also meet the man who takes Nick out for lunch at the hotel. His name is Commander Challenger. He's in the Navy. He does not have a bean to his name, I think is the phrase used, so he doesn't really have a ton of money. However, we also learn that Commander Challenger, who I think his first name is George, wants to marry Miss Nick Buckley. End House I've actually put on the board as a character. I think it would be so cool if, I just love when buildings are characters in books, and I'm hoping that's going to end up being the case in this one. But End House is not really very stately anymore. It's crumbling. We learn that Nick has had to mortgage her house because she is down on her luck. Her financial situation is really not great at all, and she admits to Poirot, who later lets her know that, hey, I think maybe someone was trying to kill you this morning. She's like, well, I'm not some long-lost heiress with millions of dollars to my name. I actually don't have anything, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Our friend Poirot has sniffed out immediately that something is not right here, especially because Nick told him that she has survived 3 accidents, 3 would-be fatal accidents in the span of just as many days. So she's out here thinking like, I am the luckiest person to be alive. Me too, because I think someone is out to get me. Who loosened the screw on the table I was sitting on this morning? Who was that? She has survived 3 accidents. Immediately Poirot was like, accident. Mano. We have Jim Lazarus and Freddie Rice. And these are Nick's 2 best friends, especially Freddie. This is like her BFF. So Jim Lazarus is super rich. We learn that he is the son of a prominent Bond Street art dealer. He has so much money, and he has the glossiest, sleekest, longest red car. He is kind of unofficially together with Nick's best friend, Freddie Rice. She's so interestingly described. She's described as a weary Madonna. Her face was dead white and emaciated, yet curiously attractive. She impressed me, I think, as the most tired person I had ever met. You haven't met Detective Iron Deficiency, okay? Tired in mind, not in body, as though she had found everything in the world to be empty and valueless. She just comes out quite all by herself, without any tempting, really anything having to do with it in the conversation at all. That, oh, I'm so glad to hear that Nick didn't invent the whole thing with Poirot coming after me this morning. She is the most heaven-sent little liar that ever existed. But Nick is a liar, isn't she, Jim? That marvelous story about the brakes of her car. And Jim says there is nothing in it at all. So, what is being alluded to here with the brakes of the car is actually the second incident that almost took Nick's life. We also learn that Freddie Rice is kind of down on her luck as well, because she is actually still married, but she has no idea where this guy has gone. She's still married to probably the worst husband in existence. She would like a divorce. Last time that she tried to go have a divorce with him, he just stole some of her money and took off. I think she's kind of low on cash as well, and she is going around with Jim. Poirot has also kind of told us his famous advice, I think, to the reader, so I'm gonna write it on the board. and try not to forget it this time. The motive cannot be obvious. For all of our understandings, I think it would be a good idea to get out of the way the 3 little accidents that Nick has had so far this week and see what they actually are and what actually happened to her. Okay, so the first thing that happens to her involves a heavy picture that hangs over her bed, like right over her bed. I don't know why people do this, because I will never be someone who can put a big picture or a piece of art over top of my head while I'm sleeping. Like, I would just be thinking about it falling on me the whole entire night. You know, the point in question, okay? It fell in the night, but just by pure chance, I had happened to hear a door banging somewhere in the house and went down to find it and shut it, and so I escaped because it probably would have bashed my head in. Number 2 is that there is a scrambly path that leads down to the sea. I go down that way to bathe. There's a rock you can dive off of, but a boulder got dislodged somehow and came roaring down, just missing me. And finally, the third thing is with her car. The brakes just stopped working. Like, she was driving her car and the brakes just stopped working. Or I was like, listen, I implore you to be serious. Today, somebody shot at you with a Mauser pistol. A Mauser pistol? Yes, why? Do you know of anyone who has a Mauser pistol? Well, I've got one myself. It was my dad's. He brought it back from the war. It's been knocking around here ever since. I saw it only the other day in that drawer. It's gone. I am going to erase this, and I think we're going to use this side of the board for material clues and questions. Clues. The first clue that we're going to put on here is none other than a work of art. Alright, about to stick myself to the board. It's a painting. What is the painting of, you might ask, and why is it important? So in End House, there is a beautiful, it's remarked upon maybe 3 or 4 times how beautiful and like well done this portrait of Nick's grandfather is. And this is actually where Nick got her name, because Nick is not her real name. Her real name is Magdala. However, she was raised by her grandfather. Her grandfather was quite the rambler, the gambler. He was known as Old Nick because he was kind of like a devilish person. And so she would spend so much time with her grandfather that she got called Young Nick. Jim Lazarus offered to buy it, but I wouldn't sell. Even more curious that the person who offered to buy this painting is the son of the illustrious art dealer. So someone who would have a lot of knowledge about the value of arts and paintings. We also know that she refused to sell it. Is this enough to warrant her being murdered for it? I suppose someone could just steal the painting, but regardless, we know that there is someone who wanted the painting. That is what we call a motive. Another little tidbit that might or might not be connected to the painting is that Nick made a will because she had appendicitis a few months ago, and in her will she left everything in the house, like everything she owns aside from the house itself, to Freddie, which would mean that this painting would go to Freddie if Nick dies. And obviously, who is with Freddie right now as her partner, or just someone always with her, hanging out with her, is Jim again. The second clue is going to be the gun. Like, where is it? Also, interestingly enough, Poirot asked, like, hey, if you were found dead in a hotel garden with your own gun next to you, would people have thought it was suicide? And she says, yes, I have been worried to death. Everybody's been telling me I'm nervy. Another question is, what has Nick been worried about? Like, what is there for her right now to be so worried about? We know that she doesn't really have any money to her name, and we also know that she is actually letting or renting the lodge at the front of End House to an Australian couple. They are Mr. and Mrs. Croft, and the only thing we really know about them is that they are described as being too nice. There's one other person on this board right now, and this is the man who told Nick to rent part of her house, because this is the man who manages Nick's affairs, and this is Nick's cousin, Charles Weiss. He is a lawyer. He's quite good and worthy, but very dull. This is the only other person mentioned in Nick's will, though, and this is the man that will get End House if Nick dies. Commander Challenger wants to marry her, maybe to get her property or something like that. Lazarus, we know, wants her painting. Freddie is in the will to get the painting and everything else if she dies, and Charles is in the will to get End House if she dies. I'm currently on chapter 4, but I will get back to you as soon as I have more information. And that tonight we will actually be meeting Agent Slagatha for the first time. There has been a murder. It was not the young lady we were supposed to be protecting. It is someone else entirely. Find out a little bit more about the Australians. Did I tell you they were Australian? I don't even know. People renting the lodge on the property of End House are an Australian couple named Mr. and Mrs. Croft. He's like, oh my gosh, Poirot, like, would you like to come meet my wife? She's a big fan. She's disabled. She basically lays in bed all day. She can't get about, but she would love to see you. you. And one of the more important things from this conversation that I put down is just like a weird remark. Mrs. Croft says that Nick has had a haunted look, and that worries me. I've got my reasons for being interested in that girl, haven't I? And her husband's like, no need to go into that. No need to go into that, Millie. What would be your reasons, Millie Croft from Australia, for being interested in Nick? We also make a call and interview Charles Weiss, who is Nick's cousin on her mother's side, and also her lawyer. And also he's in love with her. And they were cousins. The only profitable thing we learned from interviewing Charles is that he was not in his office on Saturday at 12:30, which is when Nick was shot at in the hotel. And we also learn that Charles is like, Nick is never going to sell the house. He says that Nick is absolutely devoted to the place. Nothing would induce her to sell. She has a fanatical devotion to the house. The house is becoming stranger and stranger to me. Chapter 7, we have a party. And we have our first murder. In this mess, Poirot was like, yo, Nick, do you have any friends? Do you have anyone that you could invite to the house that could stay with you, that could kind of watch over you a little bit? Do you have anyone like that could come and protect you from an external source? And Nick's like, yeah, I have this cousin, Maggie Buckley. And Poirot was like, okay, well, call Maggie up and get Maggie to come in and stay with you, stay in your house. And Nick's like, okay, I will send her a telegram. So Maggie is now staying with Nick at End House for the time being. This might be a little weird, but the next clue I'm gonna mark down is a whole country, and that country's Australia. Nick says she'd like to go to Australia, and then also that weird thing I said about Mrs. Croft, who's from Australia, who is very interested, who has an interest in Nick. I'm like, what's going on? I'm gonna introduce now the weirdest character I think to add to the board. His name is Michael Seaton. He's this guy right here, and really weirdly, he was actually mentioned in the first page of the book because he was in a newspaper article that Hastings was reading. And this Michael guy is actually someone who has embarked on probably one of the first around the world flights. He's gone missing, and the papers are like, where is he? We haven't heard from him. Like, we don't know where he is. Jim is like, you know, if Michael had succeeded in his flight around the world, he'd have been the hero of the day. And Nick is like, well, he may still be all right. Of course you knew him, didn't you? Said Jim. And Nick says, Freddie and I met him last year. He was too marvelous, wasn't he? Don't ask me, darling. He was your conquest, not mine. And Nick also admits that Michael took her up flying once in Scarborough. Nick randomly jumps up and she's like, oh my gosh, I hear a phone. I have to go. Please enjoy the party. It's just a bit weird. I'm like, what's going on? I feel like this guy is going to make a reappearance in his plane. He's going to like fly it. I don't know what's going on. Very shortly after this, we have the murder. And do you know who died? It wasn't Nick. It wasn't Nick. It was her cousin, Maggie. Basically, they all go outside to watch the fireworks. And all of a sudden, Maggie is like, oh my gosh, I'm really cold. I'm gonna go on back up to the house and get a coat. And Nick is like, me too. Nick is like, me too, girl. I'm cold. Why don't I come with you to get a coat? Freddie is also like, can you grab my coat? All the girlies are cold. All the girlies are suddenly getting cold. What is going on? They need to get their iron checked. Poirot also gets cold, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go spend the rest of the evening in the house. The fireworks are too loud. My feet are getting really wet. I don't like this. I need to go inside and have some quiet time. And I'm like, Poirot, me too. So Poirot and Hastings go back up to the house, and they see someone sprawled on the ground wearing a shawl that belongs to Nick. And they're like, well, crap, we're the worst bodyguards ever. We let Nick die. They roll the corpse over, and they find out that it's Maggie. Why is Maggie wearing Nick's shawl? So Nick comes downstairs from the house, and they're like, well, what's going on? What's happening? And Nick's like, oh my gosh, Maggie's dead. She says, we came in to fetch her coat. It was rather cold watching the fireworks. I flung off the shawl on the sofa. Then I went upstairs and got the coat I'm wearing now. She'd take my shawl if I didn't want it, and I said, of course, but would that be enough? And she said, oh yes. She just wanted something. I said, all right, I'll be out in a minute. First thought is that is a very long, very, very long step-by-step breakdown of everything that happened. It just seems like a lot. She's just giving a lot of information. She is making sure every second is accounted for, and she is just giving so much info. Nick also says some weird things after Maggie's died. You can't know. It's all such a waste. If it were only me, it would all be over. You don't know. I feel as though I'd killed her, bringing her down in the way that I did. At this point, Poirot thinks it's a good idea to just send Nick to a nursing home to basically go and stay there. He advertises it like it's for the shock of seeing her cousin murdered or seeing her cousin dead, but in reality, he said he's sending her to the nursing home for safety. Whose safety? I'm not sure. I've decided whose. He says no one, not even her dearest friend, will be admitted to see Miss Buckley. We also have a couple other clues from our other suspects here. After Maggie is murdered, Commander Challenger comes in really late, like probably 30 minutes after Maggie's dead or something like that. So he's late to the party. Where was he? We don't know. He's super distraught because he thinks someone has died and he thinks Nick is dead, and he's getting very upset about this. I feel like Commander Challenger is innocent. I don't really suspect him very much, to be honest. We also have something super weird. I don't know if you can see down here, but another suspect I put on the board is Ellen and her husband. Never seen this guy in my life. Where is he? There's a lot of people who are just off page in this one. Ellen is the servant of End household, and her husband is supposed to be the gardener. There's no garden at End House. There's no garden at all. No one is gardening. It's the gardener who isn't gardening at all. However, after Maggie dies and Hastings rushes in to call the police, Ellen is super surprised that Maggie is dead, and she's like, "Are you sure it's Maggie? Are you sure it's Maggie who's dead and not Nick?" Which is weird. And then Hastings is like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then Ellen even says, "I thought perhaps it would be Mrs. Rice who died," who is Freddie. Questions. Who is trying to kill Nick? Is anyone trying to kill Nick, in fact? Who has killed Maggie? What the hell is this Michael Seaton airplane man doing in my book? Why is Millie Croft from Australia interested in Nick? Why is Ellen being weird as hell? Where's Ellen's husband? Why is the garden going to crap? Is there something up with the painting of Ellen's grandfather? Where's Freddie's husband? Where was Charles on the afternoon that his cousin got shot at? Where's the gun that was stolen from Nick's house? And finally, where is Australia? Does Australia exist? These questions and more will probably be answered with you after, hopefully, I have my debrief with Agent Slagatha, Detective Slagatha this evening. I'm very excited to sit down, get some of her wisdom, and just listen to what she has to say. I'm so excited to trade theories with her. I have a crazy theory that I've worked up in my mind of my biggest suspect right now. I will not tell it to you yet. I will save it to tell Detective Slagatha. I think she needs to hear it first.
Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. SOS. Okay. Iron. serious talk. Yeah, we have a murder.
We do.
Has just occurred, and this poor innocent creature by the name of Mags, aka Maggie, did it. R.I.P. girl.
Not thrice.
Gosh, yeah. Jeez, that was overkill. That was overkill. Also, can we just say matching books? Cute. Poirot, our man Poirot. He has set us up quite nicely, I think, for the suspects. But you know what? We didn't need that, did we? We already knew.
No,
we had a list of suspects from the beginning.
Yeah. Before I even read the book, I knew who it was.
Yeah. I mean, impressive.
Thank you.
I feel like there is one thing that we need to focus on first before we fully get into who the main suspects are. And that is something that Poirot said, that the murderer should be surprised. Did you write that down?
Oh, no, I wrote down the motive cannot be obvious.
I mean, is that too?
Did you say the murderer cannot be surprised?
Yeah. Oh no, the murderer should be surprised.
The murderer should be surprised.
Yeah, at the fact that they killed the wrong person. And there was two people. Yeah, and there was two people who showed surprise that it wasn't. There's so many bloody names. Oh my god. That it wasn't Nick.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Nick who was dead. And that was Ellen, because she thought it was Freddie. She was like, wait, I thought it was Freddie. And also George Challenger as well. He was like, is it Nick? Is it Nick? No.
I have some super cracked up theories, and I want to hear yours so badly.
Oh, I mean, I have one
Okay.
like really messed up thing. Should we say the person? Should we say the person we think the most after 3 at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. 3. All right. So I'll say 3, 2, 1, and then shout it. Okay. Right. 3, 2, 1. Nick Buckley. Wait, who did you say?
Nick Buckley.
Did you just say Nick as well?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Is that too obvious then? Is that too obvious? But maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think it's obvious. I think it's really messed up. I
No,
can't believe you just
right.
said that. I was like, is he gonna say it?
She says at one point that she wants to kind of like direct a play down house.
Yeah.
And this feels like way too theatrical. It feels almost like a performance. She's overperforming.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that. I think because, like, you know, when Charles, who is in love with Nick as well, great job, in love with this is like, oh, she would never sell the house. She's so terribly devoted and like fanatical about it. What if she is fanatical about it?
And I know it's probably a sign of, oh, she feels guilty, but Nick does say, I feel as though I'd killed her.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a double entendre. That is, I don't know if that's the right word. Is it double entendre? Double entendre.
A double meaning?
It could. It could. A double enchilada. And
then also, like, Freddie keeps saying, oh, she's such a liar. She's such a liar. First I was like, Freddie, that's not very nice, but like, what if she is a liar? What if she is a liar?
All of the accidents as well. I mean, you almost had an accident.
Exactly.
So.
But I could have told you. I could have told you I had an accident, but I hadn't really had an accident.
Which I wouldn't be surprised at.
What is all this like hubbub going on about this like flying man going around the world flying in something?
Oh yeah.
She's met him. He's been mentioned like 3 or 4 times. So.
Yeah, maybe. I bet you they're gonna come at the very end of the book, and he's gonna fly in. Is there anything else about Maggie's death?
Nick was there. It's her gun. She invited her down in first place. She invited up to a fireworks party. She went up to the house with her. She was wearing the shawl.
Why was Nick upstairs for so long anyway? You know, like she was grabbing a coat. All she had to do was grab it and go. But she was taking way too long.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's also another strike against her. I definitely don't think Charles, only because Hastings and Poirot keep saying he's their strongest suspect. And I'm like, this early on? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Oh, but then again, but what if that means that he is? What if this is a trick?
No. We can't do this.
No. We'll go around in circles.
We have to shut this down.
We do. Look, right, Nick. Right, we've got the warrant. We've got the warrant. We're coming for Nick.
Okay, but the only thing I can think of with that is that the first incident where she's shot in the hotel, or someone tries to shoot her. How did she organize that?
I think the bullet hole was already in the hat.
Oh, you're good. But
I think it was
past her then.
I don't think there actually was when she said because even Poirot and Hastings were like, we didn't hear anything, but like she was drawing attention to this wasp, and she was like, oh, and then she puts the hat down very cleverly next to Poirot. She knew Poirot was there. You know what? Why was she even there in the first place? Why was she walking past? Why did she stumble across Poirot? Was that an accident or was that intentional?
This is so good. Okay, the other question I wanted to ask of you is to do with the Australians in the room, the Crofts, who, you know, are renting or whatever. Mrs. Croft is like, I have an interest in Nick because of blah, blah, blah. But then her husband's like, shut up. And then also at the party, they're talking about the Seton guy. But then Jim is like, oh, do you want to be like that Australian girl who flew off on her own? And Nick was like, yes, I do. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? Is this, do you think it's the daughter of the Crofts? Or like, what is going on with Australia?
Well, firstly, I mean, I'm from the land down under myself. And I actually know them. That accent went
down south quickly. In Alabama? What's going on?
It's the fact that Mrs. Croft is a gobshite. She does love to talk. And she really put a lot of emphasis on the fact that...
Wait, is that
Charles,
what gobshite means?
Gobshite, yeah.
It means talking a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What?
I thought
you didn't... Oh, what did you think it was? Oh, God.
Like a little shit or something.
What, in the gob? In the mouth?
Gob shit.
What the hell? What the hell do you watch?
I don't know. I kind of feel in my gut we kind of like our theory
Nailed it.
a little.
We nailed it.
Yeah. Why would she kill Maggie? What is the just house motive, or just because she wants to stage a play? She's cracked. I don't know.
Maybe she is just cracked. She does want to stage that play so badly.
Or like money. Like her motive is that, or one of her maybe I don't know. But she's financially not great, so she does need money. She's mortgaged the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she really does.
Would Maggie give her money?
Poirot says there is of course a type, vain hysterical, that seeks to make itself interesting by having marvellous escapes from death, in which will recount to you surprising histories that never happened. Such people will even do themselves grave bodily injury to sustain the fiction. And he does say he doesn't think Mademoiselle Nick is of that type. Mm-hmm. He does say he doesn't think she would do that, but that doesn't mean she wouldn't.
I just think it's so funny that on the next page, Poirot is like, what is our first aim? The safety of Nick. And we can't guarantee that. We can't watch over her day and night. We can't even send a policeman to watch over her. And I'm like, why? Why not? And then literally the whole night at the fireworks, Poirot's like, oh my God, I left her alone. I can't believe I've done this. And I'm like, are you dumb? Like,
I think you cracked it. You cracked it. Because I think Poirot did it on purpose because he knew Nick wasn't in danger. He knew Nick wasn't in danger, so he didn't send a policeman. He could. He didn't. He could have. He probably didn't expect her to kill Maggie, but I feel like he's like, there's something sus about you, Miss Nick. Although I will say, I do think we are onto something. I do.
I think we are. We're on.
Yeah, we are going to be on Nick's neck for this interview. Any final thoughts?
Maybe they should put Jim in his red car in the next Monaco Grand Prix.
Oh.
Instead of... Good afternoon and welcome back to Detective HQ. It is the second day of trying to chase down the would-be killer of Nick Buckley. Man, I love doing these. They're so much fun, and I got to debrief with Gavin last night. Or sorry, Slagatha. I haven't put on my alter ego yet, so last night's debrief, I have so much to catch you up on. I did say that I wasn't going to share my theory until I got to share it with Slagatha first, and I can't believe that we both had the same exact theory. We both suspect the exact same person, which is so funny, and even more funny that we suspect the victim of the case, or the supposed would-be victim. We both currently think, as of last night at least, I read a little bit more before bed. I don't know if I'm still with that theory now, but we'll get there. We both think it's Nick right now, which is so funny because she's the one that Poirot was so worried about getting killed, and obviously these accidents that happened to her, and now the fact that someone shot and killed Maggie, her cousin, when she was wearing Nick's shawl and looked like her. So it seems still like someone is out to get Nick. My number one suspect is Nick Buckley. Nick Buckley is trying to kill Nick Buckley. Why? Why would I think this? I think Gavin and I went into it a little bit, but looking back over the notes I took and rereading a couple sections, I actually found even more clues to support this theory. First of all, we have the obvious. Nick was the last person seen with Maggie. Nick went into the house to get a coat, but she only did that after she heard that Maggie was leaving to get a coat. That was the moment that Nick got up and was like, wait, I'm gonna go get one too. So she went alone into the house with Maggie. She's the last person to see Maggie alive. She was the one who told Maggie that she could take her shawl. We find out that at the party, Nick is wearing a black dress, and Freddie remarks like, oh my gosh, Nick, I don't think you've ever owned a black dress before. I never see you wearing that color. You don't like that color. Why are you wearing it? And Nick replies just really strangely like, oh, I don't know. Why does anyone do anything? But she's wearing a black dress for the first time at a party, which is in the nighttime, set in the dark hours. And maybe she wants to blend in with the darkness. Maybe that's why she's decided to wear black for the first time, so she can blend in with the shadows while she shoots her cousin in the back 3 times. Maybe. I also had that mysterious telephone that I was telling you about, that telephone call, which appears to change Nick's demeanor a little bit when she gets back from the call. More on that very soon. But then the other clue that was just really kind of unsettling about Nick. Poirot's like, there's a dance tonight, isn't there? And Nick says, yes, we are all going on to it after the fireworks. That is, I suppose we are. There was a sudden drop in her voice. Does she know that one of her friends, or more likely her cousin, or everyone, the whole group, does she know that one person is actually not, in fact, going to make it onto the dance after the fireworks? All going to it after the fireworks, that is, I suppose we are. That was a weird thing to say, I don't know. Other weird things about Nick is that She kind of consistently seems like she's putting on a performance for one reason or another. We also have the fact that Freddie calls her a liar, which maybe she is. Maybe she's really putting on a performance. And again, something I have kind of latched onto, I think both Gavin and I have, is that the fact she says pretty early on, she says, "Do you know a queer wish I've always had? I love End House. I've always wanted to produce a play there. It's got an atmosphere of drama about it. I've seen all sorts of plays staged there in my mind, and now it's as though a drama were being acted there, only I'm not producing it, I'm in it." So there's something theatrical about this whole thing, like there's something performed and rehearsed a little bit about this whole thing, and adding to the fact that obviously Nick is saying, "I want to produce a play at my house, I want to stage a play at End House," which is fair. Maybe she's a murderous drama kid. Debriefing with Gavin, there's also something he said that I really want to keep an eye on, because we both wrote down like different kind of key sentences to make sure we both came back to. Obviously mine was when Poirot said the motive cannot be obvious. Gavin's was more about the specific murder of Maggie, which I think is smarter, honestly, because Poirot says, "Oh, the murderer will be surprised that he got the wrong person. So we're gonna have to look out for someone who is shocked to see Maggie alive." And we talked in the debrief about people who were already a little bit surprised that it wasn't Nick who died, it was actually Maggie. So I'm actually gonna set you up right here for a second, because we have found out so much more about this Michael guy that Slagatha and I were dishing about last night. So this was the guy that was flying around the world. He was never on page. He was just mentioned in the newspapers as doing a world flight in his plane. This is a plane. This is my best attempt at a plane. You might see that his eyes are crossed out, and that's because he's dead. It had been speculated in the papers if this guy was even still alive, and the morning after the party, it was confirmed that Michael was found dead. Why is this important? As is usual with Christie novels, this whole time we've been told and led to believe that Maggie actually has no money, because End House is mortgaged, End House is going to bits and pieces. There's nothing left from her grandfather, from her father, who are both dead now, and so she basically has no money. That's not true. That's not true. This whole time, we've been assuming that the people who have been her biggest would-be perpetrators of killing her, they were doing it for what? For what? Because she didn't have any money. She has money because this man, this plain man that she is secretly engaged to, is actually the son of like a bajillionaire. So we're gonna put his papa on the board just for right now. Actually, let's not add him as a character. This guy has a super rich dad. This guy's super rich dad just died. And now his son, Michael Seaton, has just died the morning after the party. We learn that Michael and Nick are engaged, and that they are engaged secretly because Michael's super rich papa just hates women. Like literally just hates women. Like that is the line. Like he just does not like women, and if Michael were to get engaged, he would probably be cut out of the will and out of the inheritance. So Michael is keeping a secret that he's engaged to a woman. We do know that Michael made a will, presumably, everyone's assuming this, but it's like a 99% certainty that in Michael's will, he named Nick as the person who would get all of his stuff. It's a little bit complicated. Do we get it? We had a super rich guy. We had a super rich woman-hating man with flying around the world's son. This guy drops dead, leaves his money to the flight man. Flight man drops dead, leaves his money to Nick. Now we have all of Nick's friends because we have Nick's will. This is the book where there's one too many wills. In this book, where there's a will, there's another will. Now in Nick's will, who would get all the money that she now has from this trickle-down economic mess? It would be Freddie. Freddie would get the bajillionaire's fortune. I can't show you a photo of my butt as like evidence A. The color of this bruise is mildly concerning. It's like a deep, dark plum. Deep, dark, devious plum. And it's huge. Anyway, now that I've given you the update about my butt, we can actually give you a much different update about a maybe weird thing that's going on. I'm gonna start putting out the most cracked up theories we can imagine, but we have to talk about Ellen and her husband and her child. If you don't remember, that's okay. I'll give you a second. Okay, Ellen was the servant. Ellen was the servant of the house. We don't know much about her. We're about to know a little bit more. So we finally meet the gardener, who is Ellen's husband, who's been missing this whole time. Where the hell has he even been? Like I said, there's no garden. And Agent Slagatha and I were a little bit suspicious last night because this man doesn't really appear to be doing that much gardening. We also know that they have a 10-year-old son who is extremely disturbing. Hastings calls him such a ghoulish child, and he's really kind of scary. He just starts talking about pigs out of nowhere, and he's like, I like to see pigs get killed. I like that. Have you ever seen a pig killed? I love it when pigs get slaughtered. I don't like that. Wow. Ellen also starts freaking me the frick out. She starts talking about Endhouse, and I feel like this is kind of where we're getting in. 130 pages in, we're kind of getting into Endhouse now as more of a character and as a ghostly haunted place, which I'm so thrilled that we're bringing a little bit of the haunted house aspect into this, because she's like, Poirot, you wouldn't believe me if I told you what I know. And Poirot's like, tell me, I will believe you, madame. Ellen says, you see, this isn't a good house. I've been here 6 years, but I was here as a girl, in the kitchen as a kitchen maid. That was in the time of old Sir Nicholas. It's evil. Bad thoughts and bad deeds too. It's like dry rot in a house. You can't get it out. It's a sort of feeling in the air. I always knew something bad would happen in this house someday. She also says something weird about Maggie, the cousin who died. She says, I didn't think it would be Miss Maggie. Nobody hated her. I'm sure of it. So the fact that she's emphasizing that nobody hated Maggie means that there is someone that people are hating on. Remember that Ellen said she thought it was Freddie Rice who had died the night of the party. So does everyone hate Freddie? Or is she talking about Nick? Does everyone hate Nick? We also get another clue about the house because Ellen says that there is a secret chamber. Well, actually, it's a kind of sliding panel in this very room. They're in the parlor or the drawing room. I remember being shown it as a girl, only I can't remember just now where it is. It's a little cupboard place, a kind of niche, about a foot square, sir, not more than that. We've got a secret chamber. Who knows what's in the hidden cupboard? My first thought was the hidden cupboard, the sliding panel in the wall, is totally behind the painting. Come on. I watched enough Scooby-Doo as a child to know that the little hidden cupboard is totally behind that painting. Even more bizarre is that when Poirot questions Nick about this potential hidden cupboard sliding panel, Nick says, I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you sure Ellen isn't lying? My grandfather never showed me that, even though Ellen says old Nick's grandfather, did show Ellen the cupboards. One of the other things we learn about Freddie is that she is on drugs. She is doing hard drugs, and that's probably why she seems so unaffected, so tired. Something that doesn't reveal too much about the will situation, the very complicated will situation, but that does confirm the engagement between Michael and Nick is that Poirot finds a bunch of letters, just lovey-dovey, confessing their love to each other, blah, blah, blah. At this point, we circle back to the Australians, Mr. and Mrs. Croft. Poirot learns that it was actually Mr. Croft who got Nick to write the will before she had her appendix out in the first place. So it was at Mr. Croft's behest, just a man renting on her property who told her to write a will. This was 6 months ago. The people who witnessed Nick's will were Ellen and Ellen's husband. I think his name is William, the gardener who doesn't garden. And Nick says after that it was sent to Charles, her lawyer cousin. So I guess he would also know the contents of the will. It gets stranger and stranger, and we're also just going to add the will now as a clue. Because this is getting frankly ridiculous. Everyone has lost track of the will. No one knows where the will is. The will is missing. Okay, so this is all we know about the will. It was at the behest of Mr. Croft, the Australian lodger, 6 months ago, before Nick's appendicitis surgery. We know that the will was witnessed by Ellen and her husband. They were both there when Nick wrote it on a scrap of paper. Mr. Croft himself said that after it was done, he personally mailed it, like dropped it into the mailbox and mailed it to Charles, the lawyer, and Nick's cousin. Upon visiting Charles said he never received it. Charles swears to God he never received the will and that he wasn't even aware his cousin had written a will in the first place. So what the hell's going on? Is Croft lying that he mailed it? Is Charles lying that he never received it? Or, my friends, is Nick lying about it all? Is she lying about it all? Maybe Croft went to mail it. Maybe she slipped a blank page into the envelope instead. I just feel like she's lying about it, because the first time when Poirot asked her, like, hey, where's your will? It would be good to get our hands on it. Nick says, oh, it must be somewhere in End House. Maybe it's in the library. Maybe it's in my bedroom. I misplace stuff all the time. I don't know where it is. When Poirot was like, yo, we searched your house and we can't find it, Nick is like, oh, I totally forgot. It's with Charles. So I don't know. I think totally that something from the past is gonna come back around and bite us in the butt. I hope it's Slagatha's butt, because mine's been bitten enough. After all this, do I still think our theory from last night's debriefing holds? A little less. I think a little less, because Nick has so much money now. Like, she has so much money now that Michael is dead, and I feel like that makes a lot more sense, obviously, to give other people motive to be killing her. And like Slagatha and I discussed, neither of us could really come up for a good enough reason or an explanation why Nick would be staging these attacks on herself, or if she did kill Maggie, go to such lengths to make people convinced there was someone after her. Here are the final questions I'll leave you with for right now before I go do some more work on this. Number one question I still have: why does Jim want the painting? Why does he want the painting? In fact, we did have an art appraiser come in to appraise the painting. He said, good job painting, you're great. And he gave its worth at £20, which is obviously much less than the £50 that Jim was offering. Question number two: why does Charles say that Nick is fanatical about End House? Is Charles lying? Or is Nick actually really fanatical about End House? I'm inclined to believe that Nick is extremely fanatical about the house and about her family history. Question number three, again about Australia. What interest does Mrs. Croft have in Nick? She made that offhand remark when Poirot was visiting them, and Mrs. Croft said, I have an interest in that girl. What's the interest? Guys, I think this is probably one of the most complicated cases we've had to do yet together. I'm supposed to call Slagatha in 28 minutes. So much has happened since we have last spoken. There's been another attempt made on Nick's life. How could this have happened, you might ask? Because remember, she is still in the nursing home, kept under safety by the doctors. Poirot has been like, you can't let anyone in to see her. And he's even advised Nick not to eat any gifts that come, any fruit or chocolate, candy, whatever. Turns out she did eat some chocolate that was sent to her. There were actually 2 parcels of the exact same chocolates from the exact same store sent to her on the exact same day, both brought up to her room at the exact same time, except that one of the parcels had a letter from Poirot in it saying, you know, these are a gift from me. And so Nick said that she felt safe to eat that particular parcel of chocolates because it was from Poirot. However, the chocolates that she ate were laced with cocaine. I don't know why these 2 parcels have been delivered. One parcel was mailed to the nursing home, and we don't know who that one is from. The other one was delivered in person, and it was delivered by Jim. Now, Jim says that he was delivering this parcel on behalf of Freddie, like delivering the chocolates because Freddie asked him to. When Freddie is interviewed, she said that she got a telephone call from Nick, and Nick asked her to give her some chocolates. Nick asked her to send her some chocolates. Can I call you? Can I call a friend? Okay, what have we found out? We found out that Commander Challenger apparently knew that Nick was engaged to Michael, even though Nick says she didn't tell anyone, which is weird. I am suspecting him a little bit more than Jim now as my second suspect, purely because Poirot found out he has an uncle who is a doctor, and this doctor is a nerve doctor, and nerve doctors frequently had access to cocaine and would prescribe cocaine to patients. We know that Freddie was taking cocaine, but this connection with Challenger's doctor and the fact that he could have had access to it makes me suspect him a little bit more. We learn about Jim that his art firm is actually super financially unstable. So he's actually not rich. He's in deep waters. He's in trouble. We learned that Freddie has been doing drugs. I think, did I say that? She's been doing cocaine. She does cocaine. I think I said that. Everything is kind of pointing towards Freddie. Like, there's the most number of questions surrounding her. There's just a lot swirling in the air around her. Like, Poirot is like, it's all seeming like it's Freddie. I wonder if she's being framed. I think that is a theory that I'm gonna write down. I just wonder if she's being framed a little bit, potentially even by Nick for something, because there seems to be a feud between our friend group. About the Australians, I don't think they're actually Australians. I think they're putting on the accent and they're faking it because Poirot gives Mr. Croft's fingerprints to his police friends. They run the fingerprints There's nothing on them in England, but they don't even exist in Australia. These people don't even exist in Australia. So who are they? Why are they cosplaying Australians? And then our clues. This is a big one. A piece of a letter that says this must have money at once. If not, you probably know what will happen. A piece of a letter was found the night after the fireworks by the police. They gave it to Poirot. And the letter resembles Freddie's handwriting, but Poirot doesn't think it's really Freddie's handwriting. When Freddie sees the letter, presumably, like, she looks at the table where the letter is. She gets super faint, super worried, starts acting really weird. And I don't know, like, is this Freddie asking someone for drug money? Must have money at once. If not, you know what will happen. And I think the other half said, I'm warning you. The chocolates, we don't know. I don't know why there's 2 parcels. I don't know if one is random. I don't think so. One was definitely, I think, purchased by Jim, like we said, on Freddie's behalf. And then Freddie was on Nick's behalf on the phone. And Freddie also makes a remark. She says, I don't understand. The other, yes, but not this. So the other what? What other thing does she understand? Like maybe another attempt at placing blame on her, another attempt at Nick's life. Maybe she's in on the plot if Nick is doing this all herself. Maybe she knows that Nick is doing this all herself and she's like, why is she still going? I don't know what that means. Finally, the day, I think the last chapter that I'm at, where I've stopped reading now before I sit down to have some wine and crime with Slagatha, Hastings saw a face smushed up against the glass where him and Poirot were talking, and he describes it as hardly human. He says it's white, hardly human, terribly frightening, ghoulish, whatever, and they have no idea who this person was with their face pressed against the glass. Is it Michael? I don't know why I've put Michael there in a question mark. I just feel like he would be someone who looks hardly human if he's like back from the dead after his trip across the ocean or trying to fly across the world. If he's not really dead, I feel like he would look pretty beat up after that. So we haven't answered any of these questions at all. I do not know what my theory is going to be. I don't know what my theory is going to be. I guess we'll both find out at the exact same time.
Have we done it? That's the big question. Have we done it? Have we solved it? I mean, my first question is, do you still think it's Nick?
Oh, wait, okay. I'm still deciding.
I mean, same. Okay, well, before you decide, I do feel like if we figure out if Nick is the intended victim, I think it's Freddie. If we think Maggie is the intended victim, then I think it's definitely Nick. Do I think Maggie was the intended victim? But how do we prove that Maggie was the actual intended victim?
Okay, the only thing I can think of that something that might make Maggie aggravating to Nick is that she was there in Scarborough when Michael took her flying. I don't know if she like knew about the relationship, but I don't know if she would do anything with that.
You remember the love letters, right? Did you come to the same conclusion I did, that Michael Seton was having an affair?
No, but I did think they were like gooey and disgusting, and I was like, I mean, why are they so gooey?
They are. It's fucking rank.
Overkill.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I actually think that one of the love letters was not intended for Nick.
Oh, which one?
It's adorable of you to be so interested in my long technical descriptions of the albatross. How I long to take you up in here someday. I don't think that letter was meant for Nick, because he's already taken her up in the albatross.
I guess, but I read that and I thought of it as like, because the albatross was the special plane that's going to take him around the world. So of course he wouldn't have been in that specific plane.
Fuck, have you just ruined my theory?
I don't know, because maybe you are right. But I feel like it would have been a different plane that he took her up in the first time. Yeah,
potentially. I think you might be right. Well, anyway, that doesn't matter as well, because that's not the only clue. The chocolates. But one thing that stood out to me was when Poirot says, how can we be so sure of substituting the right box at the right moment? There are too many variables for Nick to get those chocolates, because, like, how would the would-be murderer, be able to ensure that the right box of chocolates would get to her?
First of all, why are there 2 boxes?
I think Nick tried to frame Freddie.
That's
with
what
that.
that's what I just said in my camera earlier.
Okay, maybe we're cooking with gas now. Maybe we're cooking with gas. So maybe she was trying to frame Freddie. She got the 2 chocolates. that's all I've got.
I really thought like she's out to get Freddie for something. Because there was the whole Jim scandal that Freddie was about, that Jim was like, oh, I like Nick maybe, but then also what was the other thing that made me think that? Oh, when Freddie was like, after she finds out Nick gets poisoned from the cocaine, she's like, I don't understand. The other one, yes, but not this. So what is she talking about? Is she talking, or is she in on it? If Nick's doing all of this herself, does she know that Nick's doing this and like having these staged attempts on her life?
The cocaine stuff, I think, does connect pretty well to Freddie, because she does have the drug. We find out she takes drugs and things like that. And there was that note that was found on the grounds of the house. Now leads me again to be like, well, that's too obvious. Maybe Nick is trying to frame Freddie.
Okay, I'm gonna say someone crazy. I think when you ask now, I'm gonna say someone completely different.
Oh, okay. I can't think of anyone else. Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, if it's not Nick, and I'm like, my number one is Commander Challenger.
Okay. I'm out. See you.
Yeah.
I rubbed him off the board.
Okay, I feel like I have to explain myself then. Okay.
Yeah, convince me.
First of all, I will just say he's the person I've least suspected the whole time. And that was, it ended up being the person I least suspected the last crime I solved. So maybe that's just really a thorn in my heart. He started talking the day before Nick gets poisoned by the cocaine and he's with Poirot. He talks about Nick in the past tense.
Oh, like you already knew, like, well, already thought she was dead?
Yeah, like he talks about her like she had been doing this, or she had been feeling. And then the other thing was that Poirot was like, he has that uncle doctor, who is a nerve doctor.
Yes.
And nerve doctors during that period had access to cocaine and like would prescribe to their patients for stuff. So I'm like, he would have had potential access to cocaine as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That would be a curveball though. That would be a curveball because, yeah, in you know, just going like narratively from Agatha Christie's previous mysteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it usually is sometimes the person you least suspect. And George Challenger has barely been like mentioned, to be honest. Like he hasn't really been challenged. Challenger. So yeah, like that actually would make a whole lot of sense. And there could be a whole lot of jealousy there with Nick too, especially if he knew about being engaged to someone else. And we did just find out that he did know. She did tell him. So he has more knowledge than we initially believed.
And also you said you were the one who said he was surprised after.
Yes.
Yes.
And that was something that we had to look out for, that because when he came in, he was literally stood frozen when he was like, oh, is it Nick?
Yeah.
And he has like this look for a moment or two, Challenger stared at her incredulously.
I was like considering George and Freddie, but I just feel like Freddie is so obvious. Like there's so much on her.
Yes. No, I agree. And plus Freddie is after money. There's been really nothing between Freddie and Challenger to even indicate any kind of romance. Yeah.
Except for like that random note. Well, it doesn't mention him, but it's just Freddie talking about her boyfriend who gives her the drugs. And I'm like, if George has the cocaine access, then maybe it's him.
Maybe it is. Oh my God. Oh my God, maybe it is.
Slagatha Christie. Do you still believe our theory from yesterday?
I mean, you actually kind of convinced me with the George thing. The reason why I was like Nick, I mean, I did really latch onto the affair idea. And all of the murder attempts, like if we go back to the assassination attempts, the hat having the bullet hole in it, I still believe that was planned. I don't think, I feel like they were staged. And
I know.
That's the only thing I'm coming back to is the accidents at the start. Because how bad would George have to be if he was the one doing it? How bad would he have to be missing her every single time? With a gun, with the car, with the boulder, with the hat, with the gun? Would he really be that bad? And he'd kill her like 6 times and fail every single time? Someone had to have sent the chocolates, though. I mean, Nick could have done that herself, but she couldn't have gone into that place with cocaine. Someone had to have given her the cocaine if it was staged. then someone
That's
would have
what
had to
I
have given
think.
it.
Like maybe her. I'm like, is she doing this? And also the we haven't talked about the will yet, but I just feel like
Yeah.
no one has seen it except for the fact that Nick has been like, this is what it says. Like she's the only.
Yeah.
It's just all hearsay from her about everything. I don't know. Maybe it was. Okay, you think if Maggie was the victim, Nick is the killer. Okay.
Yeah, I think if she's the intended victim, because there is genuine. I don't think there's any reason why anyone else would kill her. Like, there's no reason Freddie would. She wouldn't gain anything from killing Maggie.
The other thing is that night when Maggie is shot, Nick's wearing a black dress for the first time, and Freddie's like, "You never wear black. Why are you wearing black?" And I'm like, "Well, is she wearing black because it's dark out and she wants to like blend into the shadows behind the tree or something?"
Oh, I didn't think of that. That is a good observation too, because yeah, she would. Like, nobody would be able to see her. No one would spot her doing that. But then again, Ellen does say that she heard.
Yeah, that's true.
Her go upstairs. Like, so there is kind of a witness.
Yeah.
To her going upstairs. So unless she shot her from the window upstairs,
maybe. Also the face. Oh, the face at the window. Who
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Who the hell was...
Do you have an idea of who it is?
No. Okay. Maybe Michael is not really dead. Maybe it was Michael.
That's what I said. I thought it was Michael.
Oh my god.
It's like he was like, he's looking ghoulish, hardly human after his like flight and crash and stuff.
Yeah, but he actually survived it, and then they just put in the papers because that's what they assumed.
Yeah.
Or it could be Freddie's missing husband.
Oh, true.
As well. I feel like, is he gonna come back? Is he gonna show up? Or but we do need to stick to one theory before we continue if we are going to get this correctly, if we're going to allow ourselves the win over Dame Agatha Bitchy. I have to go with a theory that Nick was staging all of the accidents.
Yeah.
I really do not think she could have survived all of that if she wasn't the one doing it.
I know. They keep saying it's like impossible. She's charmed. She's a fairy, blah, blah, blah.
Too much. Yeah. Everyone is so confused. And even that cocaine attempt, if that had killed her, if those charges had actually killed her, then fair enough. I would have been like, okay, she's not the killer. But she's alive. She's alive, and she would have had to be the luckiest person in the world.
Okay. I have no idea why she's doing this, just for funsies, but...
yeah, because if it's not revenge, it could be revenge, or it could be that she is really desperate for the money, that she's getting the money anyway. She's getting it anyway, she's fine.
Okay, can I just read you the passage where he talks about her in the past? Because it just really, threw me. Why are you saying... it's when Poirot's talking with Freddie. Freddie gets really faint after looking at the table and presumably seeing the blackmail note or whatever. What's his face? George says, "You never know what that woman's up to, Freddie. Nick may have been fond of her, but I don't believe she was fond of Nick." May have been. Unless he's just referring to the fact that Nick hates her now.
Well, maybe. There might be, but yeah, there might be some kind of deep-rooted hatred between them, but we haven't really seen Nick be hateful towards Freddie. Maybe he knows something that we don't that's happened and transpired between Nick and Freddie. Maybe.
Yeah, so maybe he's just talking in past tense about their feelings for each other rather than about Nick herself. Okay, yeah, then for that reason, I'm out. It will be with Nick, I think.
You think Nick as well will be the culprit?
Yes. Decided.
Yeah, that was so unsure. Yes. I'm looking at the love letters again because I just feel like I feel like there might be something important here. He's saying, "I remember your name was really Magdala, which was clever of me." Why? Because we have Maggie. Why would Nick's name be Magdala? And where would Nick come from, Magdala? And wasn't there actually a moment when...
Wait, no, yeah, sorry. I think maybe... What if the letters that Nick has in her drawer were addressed... What if they're letters belonging to Maggie?
Yeah, because wasn't there actually a moment when... Is it Hastings saying something like... Maggie has many nicknames like Mags and Margaret and things like that. There was something about the nickname.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where the hell it was. I don't know if I underlined it because I thought it was just a...
For that. And also, Nick said that Magdala, like, is a family name that's reused a bunch. So what if Maggie's real name is also Magdala?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so if we recontextualize,
Mm-hmm.
and we think that the love letters are actually to Maggie, then that would mean Nick got Maggie to end house to end her.
Okay, yeah, and then what if Nick found out that it was actually Maggie who was secretly engaged to Michael, but then because in Michael's will he would have left the money to Magdala Buckley, they have the same freaking name.
Oh my god. Yes. And then she will get the money.
Yeah.
She'll get the money with Maggie out of the way. Yeah, she'll get the money.
Yeah. Come on.
Okay, it's gotta be that. It's gotta be that. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that makes sense. It's gotta be that. It's gotta be that. It's gotta be that. Okay. Right, great. I thought there was something about these letters. I did.
Yeah. You're good.
No, you're good.
No, we're good.
We're good. This was a joint effort. This was a 50-50. But then again, watch us both be wrong. Watch me fucking George.
It feels so right, though. It feels so right.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel right to be here with you.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think we had a breakthrough. Continue reading then. If we're looking in Nick as the killer. Nick. You just watch yourself. Are you reading the Will and Testament now?
Yeah.
Who is Mildred Croft? Is she the
Australian?
Is that her first name?
Yeah, she's called Millie, but I guess her full name's Mildred.
What? I leave everything of which I die possessed him. What?
Okay, so she leaves it to Mildred?
That's interesting. Okay, so Freddie wasn't even going to get anything anyway. What does she mean by it was all a joke?
I think you're about to find out.
Cleverest forger we've ever had, Millie Merton. Did she forge the letter? In the chocolates? Well, there's that, but also...
Oh, the chocolates?
Yeah, it was Hercule Poirot.
I really hope not.
I know, I hope not too. It just said Frederica on her feet with a thin trickle of blood running down her arm. Why? What happened?
A hiss of a bullet through the window.
And that hit her?
Who's not at the table? Michael?
Michael's not on the table. Is he actually alive?
Or her husband? A spurt of flame from the window and the hiss of a bullet, then another, and the sound of a groan and a fall outside.
It could be whoever was at the window. Maybe it is the outsider who Poirot put down as J. The
only people not on the page have been Michael and Freddie's husband.
Yeah, Freddie's husband, yeah. When Hastings is saying who's there in the room, he pretty much names everyone. There's Frederica, Lazarus, George, Croft, Mrs. Croft, Charles.
Is Jim
Poirot. There? Yeah, Jim Lazarus is there, yeah. This must be someone we haven't met yet, maybe. Chapter 20, here we go. I've done for you this time, I hope. What? Oh, Freddie, I didn't mean it. You've always been so distant to me, huh? What?
It's her husband.
She rose slowly from her knees and stood looking down at him. With one hand, she touched his forehead. Oh, he was my husband. So is he dead?
Yeah, he's dead now.
What in the world?
Oh my god.
A drug fiend? So he was the one blackmailing. So that letter was to Freddie. And, oh, don't tell me it was him. I suppose, oh, what? No. I suppose it was he who shot Maggie Buckley. He didn't mean to shoot her, of course. He must have thought it was me. And Ellen must have known because when she was when Hastings saw her after the shooting, Ellen thought that it was Freddie who died. She was like, "Oh, Mrs. Rice," and he was like, "No, Maggie."
Okay, if this is actually what's happening, I'm gonna be so pissed because this is kind of dumb.
Well, there's still
There's still some time.
Are they honestly pinning it on this guy? This
Why
husband
would
who
he
doesn't
go
even have a
after Nick? Why would he go after
yeah. Because I mean, unless he thought, yeah, that doesn't make sense because Freddie's nowhere near where Nick was, like the painting above her bed. Why would he think that would kill Freddie?
Okay, I think maybe this is the classic.
Misdirect. Oh,
there's a K.
Oh.
There's a K. There's a JK. There's a just
oh
kidding.
no. Oh no. The only person left who hasn't been mentioned on that list is Nick. She's the only one left.
Yeah. Come on. Don't lose hope. Don't lose faith.
My nerves are shot.
Yeah.
I'm so stressed.
My heart's going.
Chapter 21. This is so ridiculous.
Let that be the end of things, says Nick. Let the police go on looking for the man who shot Maggie. They just won't find him.
She is very adamant that they just end the case right here and now. That's a little bit sus.
We see you. Okay.
She is as fake as press on nails. Oh, Poirot. He's saying, "Sit down, all of you, and I will tell you the truth." Oh, okay, it's not over.
Yeah. That's right.
Wait. Hang on. Wait, I'm... So, he's saying that someone got a pistol. He followed someone, got the pistol. The young lady carefully wiped the pistol with a handkerchief, placed it in the pocket of a grey wrap. The property of Mrs. Rice. A cry burst from Nick. That isn't true every word of it. The person came as mad as well, Nick.
And why would you call Maggie in order to inherit the money left to her by Michael Seaton? Her name too was Magdala Buckley, and it was to her he was engaged, not you.
Oh my god!
I could die.
I thought we were down the garden path. I genuinely did.
Oh my
god. Oh. High five. Wait, hang on. It's not over yet. There's still a couple chapters.
Oh, shoot.
That whole nickname thing, we got there in the end.
Yeah.
We did. We got there in the end. Don't you just love it when you're right? Okay, so Nick did love End House, but she had no money. Okay.
I feel so bad for Maggie.
Yeah, she only came to keep Nick company during this very scary time. Well, not so scary, but she thought it was. I knew she freaking did all these. Does it say anything about the hat?
Right here. I was just gonna tell you, you're so right about the hat that falls at Poirot's feet. I'm taken in. I believe in the peril that menaces her.
Knew it.
Yeah, she put the letters in her own room. What a snake.
I felt so bad for Nick as well for a second when she said, "Oh, I was actually crying because I heard about Michael's death, and that's why it took me longer. Like I needed a moment to compose." I was like, "Ugh." I felt sorry for you. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Yeah, I don't understand the poisoned chocolate either.
Do you not see that if Nick's life was attempted after Maggie was dead, that absolutely settled the question that Maggie's death had been a mistake?
But how did she get the cocaine?
I don't know. Maybe she took it from Freddie?
And that whole, like, does she hate Freddie now? You picked up on that. Because she does. It does seem that Nick no longer liked her. Good spotting, Inspector. Good spotting.
Supposing her name was Magdala. It was a Buckley name. 2 Magdala Buckleys. Ooh!
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Something about Challenger. I got a little bit right Challenger.
That is literally what I've just got to. So Challenger, that's where you put the stuff, isn't it? In those wristwatches. Wait, so Challenger did provide the cocaine?
Yeah, he's the cocaine boy.
You are genius. You genius. You absolute genius. I didn't even think of that. Wow, I feel like you unraveled every mystery. You left no stone unturned.
I couldn't have done it without your letters. That was really good.
Thanks.
You're so good with those love letters. Holy.
Thank you.
You must get a lot of them. Oh, I understand.
I do. I can read a fraud love letter when I see one.
Oh, we're gonna find out about the painting. Oh, please. Oh, so okay. The picture on the wall is worth at least £5,000. Oh.
Well, now I know everything he said happily. The end. We did it. We did it. We did it.
We actually did it.
High five. High five.
Oh.
I doubted so badly, like, that we were on the wrong path there. I really did.
Yeah.
I really did. But no, you got the challenger thing so perfectly.
We had her on the first debrief.
We did have her on the first debrief. She was the first suspect.
Yeah.
And we thought we were being crazy with that as well.
Yeah.
That was good. That was very good. I enjoyed that.
Thank you. This was so fun.
I
couldn't have done it without you.
I couldn't have done it without you, genuinely.
Oh,
Genuinely, because
it was good.
It was, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was so fun. I almost changed my mind.
Me too. She almost had
changed.
us. She almost had
Almost. I say. Cheers. Cheers.
Oh! Oh my god. Oh my god, I got wine in my eyeball. I just saved your life. They almost got you. Oh, they did get you. Uh-oh. Want to straighten up there, bud? Sorry, I don't want to ask you to straighten up on Pride Month.
And isn't slag, isn't that like a heat pile or something? Leftover material created when metals are separated from rock during smelting. An iron and slag. That could be our duo name.
An iron slag.
It's perfect.